Hello and welcome to another baseball video. I want to talk about every team in MLB history because I know all the World Series winner and runner-up, and basically telling about all of the history of each team, of when they went to the World Series and how many players they had. And so I'm gonna go each team and stuff, but I'm going to start with the highest team has the most World Series, and that is the New York Yankees. So we're going to talk about them first, and then I'm going to keep going down to the list till we're going to go to 0.
That's the 97 home run for the ages. Oh my goodness! Yes! The day! Wow, that was awesome.
And I just want to mention this also before I'm about to start. I'm not going to talk about what happened in the 1800s baseball time and stuff. I'm talking about the World Series era, and that is going to start in 1903 to present time. They were called the New York Highlighters, and they were a team around 1903 to 1912. And then in 1913, they became the New York Yankees. Obviously, everybody knows about the Big Bang Bino, the Babe Ruth, starting with the team in 1920. The Yankees lost back-to-back World Series in 1921 and 1922 against the New York Giants. And then finally, after the next year, after they lost back-to-back World Series against the Giants, they finally won their first World Series in 1923, and also with a very young Lou Gehrig and Herb Pincock. Also, I want to mention of how many World Series we're gonna talk about, like number of it and stuff. So fortunately, we're at number 1. And the number is just going to keep adding up. You know, we're going to the goal of 27, so this number is going to go big. They won in 1927 over the Pirates, and they have a nickname of the Murderers Row. And there's a couple players are named for that nickname, with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, as well with Earl Combs, Mark Courage, and Bob Messel, and Tony Lazzeri. The most of the crazy thing is I'm doing stats as well, so it's crazy about that. Babe Ruth has 60 home runs, 165 RBIs, and a 1.258 OPS, and a 540 batting average. And then Lou Gehrig had 47 home runs, 173 RBIs, and 1.240 OPS, and a 584 batting average on that year of 1927. This is why they call it the Murderers Row. They also won back-to-back in 1928 against the Cardinals. And in that World Series, Babe Ruth hit 3 home runs in Game 4, and Lou Gehrig actually hit 2 home runs in Game 3. The Yankees won in 1932 against the Cubs, and this will be the last time Babe Ruth actually won a World Series with the Yankees, because he retired in 1934, or ended his career with the Yankees in 1934. And they also add Bill Dickey to the team. At this time, Yankees actually won 4 in a row. So starting in 1936 with a young Joe DiMaggio. They won in 1937, similar in 1936. They beat the Giants. In 1938, they beat the Cubs. In 1939, they beat the Reds without a Lou Gehrig. They won in 1941 with, they added Phil Rizzuto. They won in 1943 with the injured Joe DiMaggio. That just shows of how good the Yankees are. They won in 1947 with a young Yogi Berra. And this is also starting of Yogi Berra's 10 rings and stuff. So fortunately, we're starting with number one with Yogi Berra. So this is gonna keep adding up as well. And this time they won five in a row. I think this is the most team actually won a World Series in a row, and nobody never actually beat this. Not even the four in a row. I don't think another team never got to that point. They got some. There's other teams been three, but not four, not five. They won in 1949 against the Dodgers, 1950 against the Phillies, also adding Whitey Ford. And to me, my opinion, I think he is one of the best pitchers in Yankees history. Also adding Bill Martin because I guess like he's part of that Hall of Fame Yankees. They won in 1951 against the Giants and also add Mickey Mantle, so the team just keep adding up. And it's just absolutely insane enough of just look at this team. Like you got Mickey Mantle, Whitey Ford, Joe DiMaggio at the time, Yogi Berra, and there's probably like more people, but those other people I just named right now is absolutely insane. Yogi Berra hit 27 home runs, 88 RBIs, and a 547 batting average and a .842 OPS. So showing of Yogi Berra can be a legend catcher for the Yankees. And then they won back-to-back 1952-1953 against the Dodgers and also a injured Ford. And this is the time when Joe DiMaggio is not with the Yankees anymore. Yogi Berra at this time hit 27 home runs, 108 RBIs, a .886 OPS, and a 503 batting average. And Whitey Ford threw 110 strikeouts with a 3.00 ERA and 18 wins. They won in 1956 against the Dodgers. In Game 1, Mantle and Jackie Robinson hit a home run in that game. They also won in 1958 against the Milwaukee Braves. Mantle hit 42 home runs, 97 RBIs, 1.035 OPS, and a 654 batting average. And they won back-to-back 1961 against the Reds in 1962 with the San Francisco Giants. And this is the time where Yogi Berra ends his ring. So that's all 10. 10 rings. Pretty insane. And I think he has the most rings in MLB history. And this is also the time where we're not going to get Yogi Berra. We're not going to get Ford anymore. Mantle as well. Like, this team pretty much went down after this team left and stuff because they also lost back-to-back World Series in 1963 against the Dodgers and 1964 against the Cardinals. So fortunately we have a huge break for the Yankees, but I'm just going to keep adding players and stuff in the gap of when they won the next World Series. They finally won back-to-back World Series in 1977 and 1978 against the Los Angeles Dodgers with Reggie Jackson and Catfish Hunter. And Reggie actually hit 27 home runs, 97 RBIs, a .834 OPS, and a 511 batting average. And this was absolutely crazy in the 1978 World Series. Reggie Jackson was basically playing the outfield and he was getting hit in the face because people in the crowd was throwing like trash on the field. And when the game was over, like the whole game, like I'm talking about like the whole history of it, the Yankees won the World Series. They're the champion of 1978. And Reggie Jackson just totally like ran in to try to get to the dugout the fastest he can because he knew of enough of back then fans actually got on the field and just go crazy on the field and stuff. So Reggie basically just wanted to ignore that and stuff. And at the time, he was like dodging each person, like, oh, like, he looks like a baseball. I mean, not a baseball, a football player. Like he has the ball and he's going for the touchdown to the dugout. And there was a time where he just bombered this fan to the ground, and it felt like Reggie Jackson just totally like knocked him out. It was probably the insane thing I ever seen in a World Series history. Just happened that way. It was insane. And then the Yankees had a big long break. They did not win a World Series in the 80s. They also added other players around at that time with Dave Winfield, Tommy John, Don Mattingly, Richie Henderson, Jim Abbott. They finally won a couple games in 1996 when they also added Derek Cheater, Barry Williams, Paul O'Neill, Andy Pentedet, Marino Rivera, because that team was stacked as well. This is the time the Yankees won 3 in a row, starting in 1988 against the Padres, adding Tino Martinez, Jorge Posada, Scott Prasus, and Orlando Hernandez.
Like they're the
And Derek
underdog.
Jeter hit
Bounce
19
toward the
home
middle and
runs,
through.
84 RBIs, and
So that's some consolation for him.
OPS, and a 626 batting average. And Rivera has 36 saves and 36 strikeouts. They also won in 1999 against the Braves and added Roger Clemens. They won 2000 against the Mets. They also add Jose Siseko, and this guy was like a beast. They also lost in 2001. If they actually win in 2001, that would be 4 in a row, and that would be the second time the Yankees won 4 in a row. But fortunately, my Arizona Diamondbacks beat the Yankees in 2001. And they also lost 2003 against the Florida Marlins. In the gap, they also add Jason Giambi, Gary Sheffield, Randy Johnson, and the last time the Yankees won in 2009, adding Alex Rodriguez, Robinson Cano, Hideki Masayuki, Johnny Damon, Mark Tresira, and CC Sabathia, and Nick Swisher. So that was the time that's all 27 World Series. I'm like that that's just insane enough of how many they won. And the World Series is over, and they haven't been to the World Series since, and it's crazy enough of they never been out they've been out of the World Series 5 times like in history of Yankees. So it's crazy enough of they've been in the playoffs so many times in the history of them. But they also add other really great baseball players at the time when they finally won their 27 World Series win. They also added Curtis Granderson, Ichiro, Masahiro Tanaka was really good. In 2017, they got Aaron Judge and Gary Sanchez. In 2018, add John Carlos Stanton and Gleyber Torres. 2019 added DJ LeMahieu and Zach Britton. And fortunately, about 2019, I thinking that was the year of the Yankees. Fortunately enough, of they lost in the playoffs when They were facing the Houston Astros, and Jose Altuve hit a walk-off home run just to get to the 2019 World Series. And they also added Luke Voigt as well. Around the time of around 2020 and 2021, they also added Garrett Cole and Anthony Rizzo. In 2022, Judge hit 60 home runs, 131 RBIs, and 1.111 OPS, and a 570 batting average, and he did not win the MVP because of Shohei Ohtani actually won the MVP instead. But right now in 2024 Yankees, they add Anthony Volpe, Clay Holmes, Nestor Cortez, Juan Soto is making a big difference for that team right now. Carlos Rodon, Alex Verdugo, and other Yankees players. So that is pretty much for the Yankees history. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm super excited to talk to more other teams as well. So that's that. Who knows? This could be the Yankees' year if they can keep it up with them and stuff. They're very good of this year. It's crazy enough of Judge is the captain of this team. Give a like on the button, subscribe for more contents, and thank you for watching.